Flipped classrooms are a fairly recent innovation in teaching that has been gaining momentum over the past several years. Here, we will talk about its function and purpose, as well as its advantages and disadvantages over more traditional methods of lecturing in class and giving students homework. The basic definition of a flipped classroom is that the place and time of lectures and coursework are inverted. First exposure to learning material is given through online lectures that are watched before class, thereby freeing up class time for coursework, discussion, and activities, where the instructor is available to answer questions and fill in gaps of understanding. As with many pedagogical trends and fads, there's been a lot of confusion of what constitutes a flipped classroom. Many education journalists and teachers have fixated on the online video lectures and see it as yet another iteration of the MMOC, extrapolating from that it's intended to replace teachers with YouTube videos. Others have also avoided or ignored the flipped classroom concept because they saw it as just another online course where students would be working without structure or spending the entire class staring at a computer screen working in isolation. But the pioneers of the method, Jonathan Bergman and Aaron Sims, see that as a limited understanding that diminishes the potential of the method. What they are trying to accomplish through the flipped classroom method is to provide a means to increase interaction and personalized contact time between students and teachers. They wanted to create an environment where students take responsibility for their learning. And they wanted to create classrooms where this teacher is not the sage on the stage, but the guide on the side. It included a blending of direct instruction and constructivist learning. It is also a classroom where students who are absent due to illness or extracurricular activities such as athletics or field trips don't get left behind. A class where the content is permanently archived for review or remediation. A class where all students are engaged in their learning and where they get to personalize their education. There are some clear advantages to putting the lectures online. When we lecture in a live setting, we are putting a lot of demands on students. Not only that they pay attention for long spans of time while taking notes, an activity which in and of itself requires a lot of attention. Putting the videos online, they could review them at their own pace. This comes as some relief to students, because after all, as we're putting all these demands on them, these burdens, lectures often come off as this.
Graduate, you get to keep that. And it's orientation, biology, psychology, philosophy, political science, Roman studies, physics, visual arts, comparative literature.
Or this. Nor should we underestimate the benefits for absent students. And we should also look at the opportunities that allows for differentiation, as we hear from this following teacher's testimony.
Bueller.
He's sick.
I just started flipping this year, and the one thing I love the most is that because it's accessed through a Moodle, then I have a form when they walk in that says who watched it, when they watched it, how long they watched. I can see who answered my formative questions and who didn't get it. So at the door I can say, oh, you didn't watch it. There's 4 computers in the back. Could you watch it before you start the activity? And they do. And then the ones that, then the 80% who watched it and got it, you go right to the activity, and the 10% that need me because they didn't get the questions, come on over, let me help you. Mm-hmm. And I just, differentiation works on that level.
Now, with classroom time freed up from the relatively passive activity of listening to lectures, classroom time can now be used, it could be oriented towards more project-based learning, inquiry-based activities, independent problem solving, or class discussions where everybody should be on more or less the same page. There are several objections to flipped classrooms. Many of them are based on misconceptions of what it actually is, but for the ones that do get it, I think some teachers are reluctant to adopt the model, mostly because they're concerned that their students don't have the resources, they don't have the access to the internet or the computer that's required for this. So this is definitely not a model that could be applied to Title I schools. Another downside to the flipped classroom model is the enormous investment of time that's required at the beginning. Producing lectures for video could be very time consuming, especially if you want to add production values to it, as I've tried to do with this one, as though teachers weren't overburdened enough. But there is one way you could sidestep this problem. One is by introducing it into your own classroom very gradually. A lot of teachers only do this once or twice a week. You can start recording your lectures now as you teach them, as you teach your class your normal traditional way, and then save these lectures for next year, editing them and adding to them as you see fit.